A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the show. Promises to be exciting. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Today we're going to be talking about plans to revive the Principals Cup. We'll also be talking about things happening as usual on the domestic scene. A lot of interesting talking points today. In England, as we speak, match is currently going on in the English Premier League. We'll also talk to you about the situation with Chelsea. Of course, they have swiftly replaced Frank Lampard. Who's the man in the saddle now? We'll talk about that later on as we move on the show. In the Nigerian Professional Football League, some decisions taken, disciplinary decisions taken by the league management company. We'll also talk about the fallout of some of those decisions. Of course, today, the news that came in just before we came into the studio, of course, NFF President Abaji Pinnick. Of course, FIFA has cleared him to contest in the FIFA Council elections, of course, after passing the eligibility check. We'll talk about that as well on the show, the likely implications of that. So that's the outlook of the show tonight. Let's bring you into all that we're doing on the show. Today is the day you want to talk to us. Today is the day you want to be part of what we're doing here on Sports Tonight. So just in case you're joining us for the first time, this is how you can be a part of the show. You can get across to us via mail, if that's what you like, sportstonight@channelstv.com. Send us a mail. Let's know how you feel. On Facebook, Channels-Sports. That's how you can talk to us. Let us know what you feel about all the things we've talked about, all the things we've highlighted that we intend to talk about. And probably there's something you also want us to talk about that didn't make our lineup tonight. You can let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate you. And on Twitter, that verified handle that we tend to brag about sometimes, of course, Channels_Sports. That's it. And on that handle, the conversation never ends because we always keep it going. All right, so tonight we're going to start the show talking about efforts, plans to, of course, revive the Principals Cup, to return the glory days to the Principals. A lot of people have fond memories of what the Principals Cup used to be, and there are plans in the offing to bring back those days. I have the privilege of having with me tonight a consultant and, of course, a member of the organizing committee of the Principals Cup, in the person of Tony Pemo. It's good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
I hope I didn't bother your name.
No.
Right.
You did well.
I was a little scared. All right, good to have you here tonight. You know, first things first. A lot of big names in Nigerian football, you could easily trace their journey back and see how it all started for them. Sure. And in most cases, it was the Principals Cup. Sure. It was designed that way. And I want to ask you, what do you think has gone wrong? Because for you to plan to revive something, at some point, something had gone wrong.
Yeah. Somehow, young people, nobody looked at what was happening in the school.
Okay.
Young people just go to the street, learn how to play football while they are struggling to play and carry their boots. Somebody just rely on luck, and somebody will say, okay, you are playing very well, and I will try and see how you can go abroad and do that. Mm-hmm. Now, there was a break in the system that was, used to be, and I haven't looked at that. We want to assemble a national team now. You see NFF getting on the plane and the minister getting on the plane, going to look for foreign players. Some of them who was playing here and nobody looked at them, and they find themselves, and we are going there to beg them to come and play. And I haven't looked at that. Over time, it wasn't a working system. So we have to look at ourselves and find out, what can we do? Where did we miss it? Then we'll now trace it back to say, we need to get back to the grassroots. And the best place to get back to the grassroots is the school system, the secondary school, then the primary school going further down, So we thought that, why don't we bring back the Principals Cup, and everyone surprisingly agree that, yes, that's where we really missed it.
Yeah.
And today, with the Honorable Minister, Mr. Sunday Dare, giving us all the support,
That is needed.
amazing man, giving us all the support, we are close to doing a kickoff now, and this time we are going beyond just the football. We also want to use the opportunity to see how other sports
can benefit.
Yeah, because it's the first one, and it's the maiden edition. We want to see. We don't want to clump everything to make it look like a sport festival. So we have chosen about 4 other sports to add to it. We have chosen track and field, badminton, table tennis, and boxing.
Okay.
You know, so but football, yes, will be having a lot of attention, but then all these other sports will have to go together. And we're also going further to also discover at the school level also young men who are interested in the auxiliary part, the sport writing, sport content generation, running of
because
commentary.
Of course not everybody is going to end up
being an active player. So we want to get into discover every other aspect of it, even videography and photography.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, so that we can catch all of them.
Very, very good.
You know, and help them build a career path for themselves.
All right. You know, one of the challenges actually is, you know, and you've touched up on it, not being able to combine education and sports. You look into the curriculum these days, there's probably no mention, you know, sporting activities are at the barest minimum. You have some schools that you could spend 5-6 years there, there's nothing, you know, and you think all of these activities will correct some of that in public and private schools?
You know, sports is living that era when you think it's all about entertainment or exercise. It's becoming a big business.
Yes.
You know, and parents are also getting to realize that, you know, and encouraging their children. We have met parents whose choice of school, secondary school, that their children will be dependent on how much of sporting activities and extra sporting curriculum that they have. We have tried it in a few states, and we have discovered that a lot of parents would rather send their children far away, schools that are very far away, but have these facilities to train them to discover their sporting talent. You know, so things are changing up, and people are getting to realize that and tampering with the curriculum to match that. And I'm also sure that students also are beginning to realize that they won't do far, even in any area, sport or whatever talent you want to do. You can't go too far if you are not in school.
Yes.
So school education is as important as merging with your talent. Yeah, you have to find a way to marry that together.
Let's talk about this year. We're in a very unique situation.
Sure.
COVID-19 has disrupted a lot of things, affected a lot of things. You know, you were talking about being very close to, you know, doing the maiden edition of. So how does COVID-19 factor into all of the plans that you have? Because I know it definitely will affect what you're planning to do.
But for COVID-19, we would have had, we either would have rounded up the first edition, and we'll be talking of the Headmaster's Cup for the primary school. But right now, that's not the case. But what we have done is to convert all the time into further preparation and, you know, getting to create a brand out of it. Taking all the opportunities of the time that we have lost with COVID to make every of our plan better. You know, and trying to tidy up, trying to get a top notch in it. With the minister we have, who is the man of excellence, we're trying to ensure that we meet or surpass the standard that he expects. So we are using the time of the COVID to actually better the entire strategies.
A little digression. We'll get back to this, but a little digression. Does it cover, you know, I know, does the plan involve private schools as well? Or
sure.
It's just because
every school,
those are some of the questions we
by
getting.
2015, 2016 was the last time a Bureau for Statistics National Bureau for Statistics did a data of all the schools. As of 2016, we have a total number of 42,000 public and private secondary schools. And I'm sure between then and now, they have not updated the data. I'm sure we have much more than that.
Probably.
Our target is to reach across 100%. So if we are falling below that, we shouldn't fall below 90% of activity. So it is across board, private secondary schools, public secondary schools, everybody is registering. We've opened our registration portal, and so far we even have more private schools registering.
Than public schools. All right. So how easy? A lot of kids probably listening to you now and saying, "Oh, I love this opportunity." I mean, my own generation, a lot of us were denied of the opportunity because some of these things were either fizzling out or probably not in existence. So you have people who could have excelled in education and sports who were denied the opportunity. So you have young kids listening to you now, happy that there's a revamp, there's, trying to rejig it. So how easy is it for any school that wants, for us it's not football, it's boxing, for us it's not this, it's this one that works. So how easy is it to come on board?
We have created a registration portal, and it's as easy. We made it so easy because we believe that no school does WAEC exam or NECO exam manually anymore.
Yeah.
So we are not going to go manual at all. But we have made the registration of schools first a very simple arrangement. It's not a complicated arrangement. You just click on the portal, you just see, register the name of the schools and all that. And much later, we're going to be adding it up. You register the players and the officials, everybody register. It's so simple. It's as simple as anything.
All right. With all of this, I want to assume that there'll be a lot of investment into facilities, a lot of investment into areas of logistics, because you're dealing with, very high numbers. So all of those things are also probably have been factored in as well.
Yes. We also had gone a step further to enjoy a quality tournament. The first week of next month, we are going to be having a webinar where we have a foreign coach who's going to be training on the basic. First, train all the coaches and game masters of the school so that they, in turn, will know how to train their players. So we are going to be doing that first week of February, and it's going to be for 2 days or so. And much later, we are going to be sifting out those who are interested in coaching, because students also who are interested in coaching are going to be registered also. So we are going to sift them, separate them, and have their own time also to coach them. So once they are coached online, then as they have their players filing out to play, they will dress as a coach, like assistant coach, follow their coach, and practicalize what they have been taught. So also for those running commentary, so also for every aspect of it. Once you train them, then during the game proper,
sort of training.
Yes, during the game proper, they can begin to practicalize some of the things they have learned on the field, so they can get better. And we'll give those who want to learn about running commentary, we'll give them the opportunities at the game. Why don't you run for 5 minutes? Let's see how good and how well you can. So at the end of the day, we are going to have quite a large number of people, of young
beneficiaries
people that will benefit from the Principal's Cup.
All right, that's good to hear. But usually, everything starts from at the local level, state, before you get. So what level of support will the ministry provide, even at those very small levels?
Okay. First, we are going to be having a kickoff in Lagos here. Between Igbobi College, Lagos, and Government College, Kaduna. They are both winners of the Principal's Cup in
previous editions.
Yes, in those days. And after that, every state is going to be playing the preliminaries. Then after the preliminaries, each state will come with their winners. Then we are going to we have zoned the country into 6 zones, representing the geopolitical zones. Each of the zones we have produced 2 winners. That becomes 12.
12, yeah.
And these 12 teams will be meeting in a state we are yet to determine, because we intend for state to bid to host the finals. It's not going to be a one-day thing. It's going to be like a 5-day kind of festival, whatever.
A tournament format or a knockout format?
No, it's going to be a tournament format when they meet at the final.
All right.
So that it will be exciting, display this and, why those in the boxing are running their finals. It's going to be like a mini sport festival. It's going to be something that everyone will be. But we are not also forgetting the COVID-19 protocol. We are going to ensure that we are compliant all through.
Okay, so how soon will all of this happen? Well, I know you've already said you're waiting for maybe one of the states to pick it up, but from
No, that's for the final.
For the final, okay.
Yes, for the final. For the kickoff, Lagos State is hosting it.
Okay.
We're playing it we're looking at Onikon. We are most closing all that up. Onikon Stadium, we host the kickoff.
Yep.
But it's going to be a ceremonial one, because now it's between 2 states.
Yeah.
So after that,
then states take
from
it over
that
from
day, every state begin to play. But they would have submitted to us their fixtures so that we can follow through.
So that there could be some sort of monitoring.
Yeah, exactly. Monitor their finals. So from quarterfinals, we're already having our eyes there to see and monitor those, because even at that level, we have technical committees who will go around to try and pick outstanding players, even those who didn't qualify. We cannot afford to lose out on anyone. We have to be sure and profile those very good ones, so that at the end of the tournament, we can be able to look back and say, okay, these are the cachet of the young talent we have gotten, then prepare them, arrange a further training for them, do a football clinic, do a clinic for them, and see how to further develop them.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. I'm enjoying the conversation. But for those talents discovered, what will be done? Because I know the essence of this is to discover talent.
Yeah.
Are there plans to nurture them into stardom, or the main essence is discover these talents?
I think the major competition vision is actually to get this one, nurture them, and progressively nurture them to professional level.
Wow.
But many of them that want to take football or other sports
Other related,
as a career, then we are prepared to take them to their highest level of professional sporting career.
All right, I guess that's a good place to leave it on the show tonight. Mr. Tony Paymo, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
On the
Thank you for
show.
having me.
And of course, trust us, we'll be monitoring. And if
you
there's
for having
anything
me.
else to say about all of these things, we'll also trust us, we'll be able to help you to project it. All right, so we've been having a conversation on the Principal's Cup, and of course we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, there's a lot to talk about on the domestic scene. Join us again.
Yes, due to the breakout of the COVID-19. And yes, it's kickoff here at the Agege Township Stadium. Fundraiser FC 0, Team Lagos 0. I was talking about the starting 11. Godwin Ekpo, David Mark, and Ekerete Udom in defense. We have in the midfield session Pedersen Ayong. He's a Cameroonian, and we're in the captain band for the Lions of Niger. Here in Nigeria, starting from the Nigerian Professional Football League, he was with Akwa United, he was the FC Ifeanyi Uba, and now with Fundraiser FC. He was also in the team last season, his second season at a row with the Lions of Niger. So he's doing the honors for Fundraiser in midfield this afternoon. Also joining him there, I've talked about the captain of the side, Pedersen Ayong, the Cameroonian, by the way. Anete Uko is also in midfield, and homeboy Lawrence Effiong. Attack, which will see the guys who will do the business, who will try to do the business for the Lions of Niger. We'll have Daniel Kolawale, and we'll also have one.
All right, welcome back. Kenny Idris has joined me now. Of course, it's going to be with me from now till the very end of the show. There's a lot to talk about. First, Kenny, let me welcome you to the show this lovely Tuesday evening.
It's good to be here, Yemi, and I love the,
Previous discussion.
Yes, the previous discussion. It was all about grassroots, all about development, and it was quite enlightening. It was quite educating. I like the fact that you took the questioning from what happened to where we are going. The saying is, if you don't know where you're coming from, you hardly be able to tell where you're going to. So they know where the decay is, where we were before, where the decay happened, and now
they have the opportunity to
we are
fix
taking
it.
this. So it's enjoyable, very, very educating.
All right. Okay, let's go on and link up with our man, Austin Okon Akpan. He joins us now as we take a look at all the interesting things happening in the world of sports. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Sports greetings, Yemi. Always a delight to be on the show.
All right, so let me just go straight to you. You listened to the discussion on the Principals Cup. Of course, last year, the news came out, the plans to broaden it, include some sports, and look at the way to fix what went wrong. A lot of stars that we have today, you could trace how they came through the Principals Cup, how it was a conveyor belt. We would love to have all of those things return. But based on all that you heard, what's your takeaway?
Awesome. It's good to see that we're beginning to think that we shouldn't lose what used to be a national treasure, the Principals Cup. As a child back in the day, you just want to, look forward to it when schools clash. It's like the World Cup final. I remember speaking to Dosu Joseph. He played in the Principals Cup back in the day. He said when he was at the Bobby College, there was a time they won one of the finals, and it was a fanfare, from the stadium to the open square, the principal, the school, the students, everyone came out to celebrate. That's the joy of the Principal Cup. And it has produced world-class stars for Nigeria. The late coach Stephen Keshi was from the Principal's Cup. Shego Degbami, Principal's Cup. Henry Wosu, Principal's Cup. Daniel Lamokachi, Principal's Cup. Sunday Olise. You can go on and on and on, And it makes me wonder, why did we go to sleep with the Principal's Cup? Such a platform that had produced so much stars. So I'm glad that the ministry has come into this one again, and they hope to expand it, bring in table tennis, badminton, boxing. Just makes it, the more the merrier, and it will let us understand why we need to build from the bottom to the top. So it's really laudable. I listened to Mr. Tony Pemo. I just hope that it's not just talk. We should be able to translate these talks into action. So I wish them all the best. It will be good to see the Principal Cup come back.
All right. If you can see us in the studio, we're nodding our heads to everything that you said. Of course, we're in agreement. We just hope that all of these things will work. We'll try to retrace our journey, and we're on the road to recovery. All right, guys, stand by.
Like you landed, I think I just want to add, everybody who is part of this, I need a top level of sincerity with the program.
Let's leave it at that. Okay, guys, stand by. Let's inform our viewers as we continue with our countdown to the National Sports Festival. Of course, there's a breaking news. We're going to take it after we inform you that it's just 18 days to go. Officially, it's 18 days to go to Nigeria's mini Olympics. There you go, 18 days to go. There's even a countdown clock. If you go to the internet, you'll see, just like you have for the Olympics and
it's our sports festival.
Other major events. But we need to quickly go to Edo State now and let you know the latest as regards the National Sports Festival. We do our best not to put words into anybody's mouth, but I want you to listen to the governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, speaking about the National Sports Festival and the current situation about it. So we listen to him, come back for more. The Sports Tonight.
How are we going to prepare for the Olympics without Edo 2020? However, Can we afford to expose our young athletes, our young people, to the dangers of this pandemic? Will there be other Olympics in years ahead? Should we, because of one Olympics, now not be able to put ourselves in a where some people may not be able to participate in other Olympics in the future? I guess these are the things we need to balance. There's no clear answer. I cannot tell you today here that that we have an answer for you. But as we pointed out, as a state, we're subnational. We're not the wealthiest. You can imagine what has cost us building those facilities, getting ready for the festival, preparing our athletes, preparing to receive Nigeria, young people of Nigeria. You just imagine what it has cost us. And just about when we had just finished incurring all of that expense, we get hit by COVID, which now calls for another round of spending. And since March last year, you know the financial state of most states, most subnationals, and the country. So I guess these are all the things we need to balance. For us as a state, we are willing and ready to host, but we do not have the funds at this point in time to host. That is the plain truth. But however, if the federal government in its wisdom decides that we can host and they can bring the funding, we'll be all too willing to host the country.
All right. The last part of that statement hit me hard, hit me really hard, because a lot of us thought the issue was COVID-19, but now, all right, so, okay, I want to go to Austin and get his thoughts. There's a lot to talk about. Austin, you listen to the governor, and I guess you're just like me. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. I thought the issue was COVID-19, but this comes up, and I don't know. It looks like I don't know. Your take.
I was listening to him, and because of what the National Sports Festival has suffered, the various postponements, I went beyond listening to Godwin Obaseki's tone, and I went to his body language to see if there was a little bit of politics to it. But I think he's being sincere. They have spent so much as a state battling COVID-19. And maybe it shouldn't be FGs should just come and, sponsor it. It should be FGs should support, And I think that with strategic communication, with understanding, if everybody come with sincerity of purpose, if we work with one vision to achieve a particular mission, I think we can get it done. There were a lot of undertones that we didn't like. Remember, the last time it was postponed. The chairman of the local organizing committee, who is the deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, told us that they didn't even know. So all of those things, will make you question where this National Sports Festival is going. But that's the governor raising concern right there, saying, look, we are ready. We want to host it. But look at what is going on with the world. Look at what is going on with this pandemic. We don't have the sort of funding, and if you want to put together a games that's got standards, you must have some good level of investment, some good level of funding, and so the federal government needs to step in. I trust Mr. Sunday Dare and his team. Let's charge them to call for a very important meeting where everybody puts away selfish interest and just do this for the development of sports in Nigeria, particularly for the National Sports Festival that we know has got what it takes, to act as a yardstick for the development of sports in Nigeria. So, it's tough. You see, when you say you were coming to me, I was smiling because I didn't know where to go with it. We have to be very careful so we don't say what is not. But with what I could say from what the governor said, I could see some level of sincerity. I can still say that they want to host the game, but they just need support.
All right, thank you, Austin, for that one. Kende, I know you have one of those things to say as well, and I want to hear it. I'm very sure our viewers as well would love to listen to your take on everything. And we're getting to know about this 18 days to go.
Yeah, I feel for Edo State.
Yes.
I can remember recently they talked about how the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium was almost becoming a shadow of itself because of postponement activities, some funny, activities happening there, which was almost bringing it to disrepute and all of that. And they had to be swift with attending to it. We reported it here, Philip Shaibu being at the head of everything, on top of everything. And they got back to, putting it to the level. And then we saw football matches around there. Yes, it's been tough. The postponement kept spending. They thought it was going to be March last year, do the festival, and then let's go wherever we're going next. But it's not happening. You have to keep it at the topmost shape until the festival happened. Now, there is a date, but it seems like it's like 100 years from today. But, Yemi, where I have the major problem is it Edo State or the head of the chairman of the local organizing committee, Philip Shaibu, are just understanding that there are no funds enough at this point, or they've known that earlier? Is there an underground discussion has been going, or this is just reality hitting at this time? Because this is 18 days to go.
To just put it into perspective, similar situation with the Olympics.
But the Olympics,
the organizers,
we've heard cries almost a year to the newly, new date. About 6 months now, July 23rd,
I'm just trying to say,
we're still hearing
this
but
kind
we're
of
saying
issues.
If there is to be a rescue mission, 18 days can almost be so small for, that interval, seem like very little. A festival is not a one-off game.
Kennedy, this is still unraveling. And
that was why I said maybe there's been discussion going on, underneath that we
Austin
don't know.
Said, I would implore the sports ministry, the federal government,
everybody should put some lands on deck. This is like a warning call.
Yes, have a sincere talk, and let's see where we go from
That was why I said I feel for them. I understand where they're coming from.
Everybody should leave personal interest, just put it out there in the interest
let's
of...
get this over with.
Let's see what can be done, we leave it at that. All right, so let's move on the show. Like I said, the situation is still unraveling. In the days to come, we're going to get more. Of course, our duty to let you know is 18 days to go. Nobody has said anything about whether or not, but these are issues that have been brought to the fore. Issues are meant to be looked at and sorted out. And hopefully this one will be sorted out because it's integral to the plans Nigeria has for the Olympics. Let's move on the show and talk about this one. News broke, I think an hour, if you asked before we came into the studio. So guys, let's quickly talk about it. NFF President Amaju Pinnick has been cleared by FIFA to contest for a seat on the FIFA Council after passing the eligibility test. Of course, that means a lot of background checks has been done, and of course, came out squeaky clean, and so there are no issues. It gets another opportunity to, it's just, you can say a lot of things about the NFF president, but one thing you have to give him credit for when it comes to the politics of the game, he knows it. He's a goal-getter. He understands it, and kudos to him. But I want to quickly get Austin's thoughts on this. I'm very sure it didn't come as a surprise to you, like it didn't come as a surprise to many. But of course, we must say it's a good sign for the NFF president.
It's a good one. Remember, he had a big ambition of becoming the CAF president. But when they had that meeting and decided to endorse Patrice Motsepe, he decided to go for the FIFA Council, which is arguably one of the most functional committees in FIFA. This, in a lot of ways, will give some relevance to Nigerian football at international level. We know Amaju Pinnick is driven, and so that's why to a level, this should be considered a national project, because it's been a long time we've had a Nigeria represented at the FIFA Council. And I'm not trying to, disrespect any African member that's been there, but sometimes when I monitor the FIFA Council meetings, the members representing Africa make little or no contributions. Sometimes just sit down there. So want someone proactive, want someone who will be involved in the politics of international football and see how it can rub off for the development of the sport in Africa. Amaju Pinnick has got a good relationship with the FIFA president, and that's all you need in politics. Just know those persons that you need to get the right result. So it's been cleared now. I'm sure they've been doing a lot of campaigning on the background. So we wait for the election. Wish him all the best. See how he can get into that council, pick a seat, and give some relevance to football in Nigeria.
All right, good one, Austin. Kennedy, March 21. Yeah. That's when the election we take place. We wish him all the best.
We wish him all the best. As much as I know he's going to be up against some stiff, competition, I feel Amaju Pinnick has put himself in at a point or in a place in the whole FIFA setup that everybody recognizes him as a formidable challenger. So in CAF already, if it were to be any post in CAF, I guess it is almost a done deal, the way he had been able to rally, around in CAF. But in FIFA, we understand at that level. But this is what you do. You get to those, very high positions, as stiff as the competition might be, you just must, aspire.
And when you
give yourself a chance, and when you get those positions, like Austin just said, you're not just putting Nigeria football at a good pedestal, also African football. And I must say, I told the part of Austin where he said, I've seen a lot of African representatives, and I must tell you, it sometimes feels like they are just on the back seat. Nothing really driven coming from that man. And if you know Amaju Pinnick so well, with what we know, I think Amaju Pinnick is going to go there. For the sake of African and Nigerian football, is going to, ruffle some feathers.
All right. Okay. So, like we said, wish him all the best in what he's aiming to achieve. Yeah. Let's come home now and talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. Of course, the LMC, League Management Company, took some decisions swiftly to address some disciplinary issues. So let's talk about Aqua United. They're in the news. Of course, their manager is also in the news. LMC sanctions Aqua United coach, that's Kennedy Boboye, for some of his comments when his team faced Atlant. And, of course, there's also a fine attached to him. And, of course, the club. We also hear that the Jigawa Golden Stars manager as well also got into trouble for not attending a post-match press briefing. I mean, when I hear those things, I'm very happy. But quickly react to this. I mean, there are rules. Rules are meant to be obeyed.
When I heard this, I said, Nigerian football is winning. Yes, you're bitter, you're aggrieved and all of that, but there is also a way where you handle all of this. You channel all of this. Now, Kennedy Boboye, Aqua United, even Paul Bassi, I wouldn't blame any for, going as far as they did. These are personnel who are pained. As of the time I saw the game, as much as I'm not a referee, as much as maybe I'm not an authority in the sports, especially in Nigeria, I felt some of those calls were questionable. As human, as the coach on the touchline.
But it's your opinion.
It's my opinion. That was what I said.
That's
as human.
So we have to always put it in perspective.
Probably they are,
felt that way.
They
too.
felt the same way, and they had to, just speak out. We see it all around the world. So nobody should come for why Nigerian coaches or Nigerian club management are like this. We see everywhere at the spur of the moment or at the period where you're still feeling, the heat or the bitterness. You express, you act in some ways that are very inappropriate. And I must tell you, Kennedy Boboye and even Aqua United will still come out to give a due apology, because at the end they will understand, okay, maybe we were right, but didn't channel our grievances the right way. So we just we got this fine, and it has adjusted our ideas. We all saying was sorry moving further.
Okay, we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we get Austin's take on the matter. Of course, Aqua United is a club dear to his heart. So we'll get his thoughts. Then we'll go for that break, and of course we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight. All right, welcome back. Off camera, you were talking about, since we're dancing around the issue, some unacceptable behavior that warranted this fine.
Yes, some very unacceptable. like I have said, I felt same way, but there is always diplomacy to be played in every situation. And this, you are at the height of our football. Club football at the Premier level is the height of football in Nigeria. And anybody who is attached, player, coach, management, should know the best way to handle this thing. That is why there are corners where you can take your arguments. We're talking about stuff that has to do with the things you said, body language, simply put, almost bringing the game to disrepute. And it worries me. As much as I feel maybe I would have done same thing, but I'm very sure, like I said before I went on the break, Aqua United and Kennedy Bobo will still come out with apologies.
All right. I'm very sure you wouldn't do that anyway. All right, let's go to Austin quickly and get his opinion. Austin, I mean, the issues, I want a quick response from you. I know it's not easy, but you got a job to do. Issues related to conduct, harassment, referee getting injured. Of course, they do have some time to either submit to this or appeal. Maybe they know what we don't know. Maybe some circumstances that is yet to come to light, maybe some things transpired. But how do you react to the fine imposed and the circumstances leading up to the fine?
The fine, particularly that Coach Kennedy Boboye was seen to be breaching paragraph 7 of the framework and rules of the NPFL. You don't make public comments in criticism of match officials. So if that's the ground where they're giving them the fine, then it's justified, because these are the sort of comments that will incite fans violence. And we know we see it in the Nigeria Professional Football League. So we're glad that fans are not at the stadium now. Coach Kenneth Boboye is a top official. I'm sure he's going to understand if he has heard, he's human. That's the human side that came to it. We've seen it a lot, even in Europe. Jose Mourinho, if he's not cool, the officials have been fined severally. So now he will just wait for you as you're approaching the turn. He will give a very strong handshake to tell you, I know what you did. We saw it again. The emotions came in place when Sean Dyche and Jurgen Klopp, the match between Burnley and Liverpool, when they were talking to themselves, it was a bit heated. And when Sean Dyche was asked, he said, look, we're humans, we're managers. This guy's playing football like our kids, so we can defend them, Right. And Jurgen Klopp had some words for the officials at the end. Is it right? No. Is it wrong to them? They're humans, so they're going to do what they have to do. For Aqua United, I think they will learn from this. I don't know if they're going to appeal it, but if he's guilty, he's guilty. Okay. But the one that concerns me is the one of Jigawa Golden Stars coach, Gilbert Okana. Now the LMC should be consistent with this. I've gone for NPFL matches, and the losing coach doesn't come for pressers because he lost. Really? It's a professional league. You need to go address the media. It's part of the business environment that you create for football. You see sometimes on Sky, the players are panting. You see them sweating, and they're talking to the press because it's part of the business environment. So that's one thing that the LMC should drive. We, the media, cannot go out there to get stories, and one coach or captain, because they didn't win, doesn't want to talk to the press. So they should be consistent with that one, because we will be watching.
All right, of course we will. Austin Okonakwan, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully we get to do this some other time.
Thank you so much, Yemi. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So we have about a minute or two to go. Let's just quickly show you what's going to happen tomorrow in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Kano Pillars will take on Rivers United in one of the NPFL matches to be played tomorrow. That's it. All right, so that's it. And of course, Nigeria National League, of course, the start date is not visible. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But let's go to England and give you that's it, the confirmation. New season postponed to February 3rd. It was supposed to start January 21. It's not feasible anymore. Let's take a look at the results as we go in the English Premier League. Let's see, 2 matches concluded, 2 matches currently going on. Now, so Kaide Idris, there you have it. West Ham beating Crystal Palace 3-2. Newcastle losing to Leeds 2-1. Situation report, Southampton, Arsenal 1-1 as we speak. West Ham trailing Manchester City 2-0. as we speak. That's it. Your parting shot on the show, Kende, as we go.
Yeah, this is what you get from the English Premier League. But for Man City, they are testing for blood now, and they look like they can't do anything wrong. West Brom is there to be taken, and they are doing that really.
Okay, all right. So that's a wrap on the show tonight. We do hope that you've enjoyed everything that we've brought to you. But first, I want to thank Kende for being here.
It's always lovely being here.
All right. Oslo Konakwan was with us earlier, and of course, we also had an interesting discussion on the Principals Cup. But we've crossed the finish line on the show. We're back again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.